Welcome to Dad Bods and Touchdowns.
Hey, thank you for joining us for another episode of Dad Bods and Touchdowns. It's myself, Eric, and Jake. And just a reminder, if you like what we're talking about, our opinions, our views on certain topics, whether it be NFL, Chicago Bears, or the UFC, please like and subscribe to the channel and give us some comments on the video or any shorts that we post out there. We're interested in your input and your feedback. All right, guys, let's talk about probably the hottest topic in the NFL this week, guys. Bill Belichick got the snub from the Hall of Fame. He will not be a first-time Hall of Fame ballot entry. Guys, I've got my take on it. Jake, I'm interested in your take.
I'm going to be honest, it surprises the hell out of me. You've seen all the rings he's wearing. There's a reason why Tom Brady helps too, but I mean, obviously you need a head coach for that too. I think 110% Rob to that should be well-deserving. It surprises.
Right. Eric, what's your take on Bill not being selected on the first ballot entry into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just, the integrity of the game, as they say, with Spygate and Deflategate and all that stuff. But, I mean, dude won 6 Super Bowls. What more do you want from him? I mean, you could say it was Tom Brady, but he was still the head coach. What you got to do to win? Just don't get caught, I guess.
Right. I'm sure that was part of the scrutiny going into the vote was obviously Spygate and Deflategate, like you said. I think it's BS. I believe that every coach in the past has tried to gain a competitive edge on any team that they play. He was just successful at winning and unsuccessful at hiding it and got caught. Should have been the 6th first ballot Hall of Fame head coach into the Hall of Fame. He belongs in the category to me with Don Shula, Chuck Noll, Tom Landry, Billy Lambeau, and obviously Papa Bear, George Halas as first balloters. He was 33 and 178 lifetime. That's second all time when it comes to NFL coaches. 31 postseason victories, guys, 6 Super Bowls, like Jake said, 9 Super Bowl appearances, 17 division titles, 3-time coach of the year. I mean, he belongs, guys. Belichick and Brady, to me, is probably the best coach quarterback combo to ever be in the NFL. Jake, you touched base. Yeah, you could say it's Tom Brady. Eric, you said the same thing. But ultimately, it is a head coach that leads, guides, and directs and helps make that situation a winning combo. I'm kind of shocked that he's not going. Robert Kraft will probably go before he does, which I think is kind of shaky. He's got something behind him, too, that obviously he's the owner. Is he not responsible for Deflategate or Spygate? Not knowing what's going on in his team,
and let alone some massage parlors.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean. He's just as accountable to that as the head coach is. So I'm with you guys. He should be in the Hall of Fame, first balloter.
It also probably has to be because of his, not agreement to be part of the coaches association and some of the other shit that he didn't want to do, which I mean, I guess people didn't like that about him or rub people the wrong way, but I mean, he won, so why does it matter?
Right. And the second part of that, Eric, too, probably is because the sports writers actually vote on this. And as we know, when Belichick got up to the stand to do a post-game press conference or a pre-game press conference or whatever the case may be during the week, he was always short answer and probably not the easiest to interview as far as head coaches go. But ultimately, it's about what you've done with the game and not necessarily what you're doing in between the games, is my opinion. Unless, obviously, it's something that's unethical. Yes, Spygate's unethical. Yes, Deflategate's unethical. But does that mean Tom Brady don't make it as a first-time Hall of Fame balloter?
I mean, if he's first ballot, I mean, you gotta, they fucked up with that one.
It puts their egos into question and the league into question. You know what I mean? It's like the MLB with the steroids. I mean, I get it, but come on, guys. The dude won. Yes, he was kind of an asshole, but that's just him baseline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you gotta take it how it is.
Right. You're exactly right. And winning comes with attitude. We all know that. I mean, that's the way it goes. But anyway, I just thought it was an interesting topic to start off with. And we all three seem to agree that it was a mistake not to put him in and to make him miss that first time. But we'll see what happens. I believe next year, when it comes down to it, they have to vote him in. There's no reason why you wouldn't. Next topic, guys. Both Eric and I shot text across quickly on this one. A couple hours ago, the NFL announced that they had added $22 million to the salary cap, which brings it to $301.2 million per team. Guys, is this helpful to teams? I'm going to give you my take real quick. Bears are currently, even with this, the Bears are currently 13 million over the cap. The Bears are going to have to start working some magic, guys, and become creative. Either working recontracts with Jalen Johnson, Montez Sweat, or DJ Moore, that or possibly trade one of the three, if not all three. Defensive needs some work, and you're going to need the cap space to do that. Starting 13 million in the hole, guys. And there's a lot of teams that are starting in the hole. If you look, matter of fact, all 4 NFC North teams will be in the hole to start free agency, the draft, and the 2026 season. What do you guys think? Think the league should have bumped it up a little bit?
I mean, yeah, I think you should have. I mean, with the cost of, quarterback and now some defensive linemen, I mean, that cap room, I mean, just goes pretty quick. Like, I just think it should have went up a little more. I mean, obviously, if you got, quite a bit of teams starting in the hole still, even with that, I mean, it's a clear sign to me.
Eric, let me put it in this perspective before you answer this. Since 2022, the cap has raised $100 million. So you think they should have gone more, or do you think they need to start keeping it leveled so they can actually level off some of these salaries?
I mean, I think it's good. I'm not trying to ride the NFL because they fuck up, but for the most part, I think it's good. It's anywhere from 301 to 305 million, compared to the 279 million that it was before. Like it helps like struggling teams like the Saints and who was it? The Browns with, cap issues, like we said. And then, like the teams that are going to be living pretty good are the Titan Raiders. They're both going to have 90 to 100 million in cap space. I don't think that it's a bad thing, with the Bears, there's a lot of wiggle room. I think they'll restructure a few players. We'll be up to like 30, 40 mil. From what I've read, it just seeing what they decide to do with the team we have. I think we're in a good place, though. I'm excited to see what goes on there.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, guys, let's go to a division rival. The Packers made a decision to re-sign Matt LaFleur to a contract. What's your thoughts? I mean, there's not a lot of info out there. It's just more of a multi-year contract. I know usually your GM, and we've talked about it before, your GM and your coach are in sync with each other when it comes to contracts and years. Do you guys think that LaFleur's done enough in his first 7 seasons to get this contract extension?
I mean, part of me, wanted to say, yeah, but because you look at, I mean, we all like Mike Tomlin, obviously he's got something behind him too that he doesn't. But, I mean, Matt LaFleur is not like it sucks to say because he's, Green Bay coach, but he's not a bad coach in my eyes, but he just can't seem to get over some of these hurdles, which, I mean, could be, give it time and it could happen, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, especially for us Bears fans.
Right. Eric, before you give a homer answer, I'm going to shoot out a couple things for you because I want to flatten it before it starts. Because I know your homerness and your hatred for the Packers, and I'm pretty sure I know the direction of your answers on this. Let me throw out a couple things. In 7 seasons, he's 76, 40, and 1. He's won the North Division 3 times. Granted, it was the first 3 seasons that he was the head coach of the Packers. He's only had 1 losing season, and that was in 2022. He was 8-9. All right, he's made the playoffs 6 of the 7 years that he's been there. He's been to 2 NFC Championship games. And that was back in 2019 and 2020. So it's been a minute. He's been successful, but I agree with what you're going to say next. So I wanted to throw it out there. He's definitely under scrutiny with his development of Jordan Love and his play calling coming out of the 2025 season. I personally think that they had no choice but to sign him. But I also question, because of the rumor mills about the contract, of how the contract's going to be worded, and I'm interested in seeing how it's worded. How about yourself? I mean, give me your homer answer first, and then your realistic answer.
A homer answers, I love it. It's perfect. Let them hire the same fucking people. It's like, so Ben Johnson could keep spanking his ass.
Come
and
on,
they can
I was
cry about it.
expecting you to
Okay.
say fuck Matt LaFleur or fuck
I
the
mean,
Packers.
I like it because he sucks. No, I'm just kidding. He's all right. No, okay. Realistically, Jake said with Tomlin, I mean, stability and, just consistency. You know what I mean? With the same people, they have the youngest roster in the NFL, so they have a lot of room to grow. It's just, I don't know if he can do it without a good defensive coordinator. He's shown to struggle to find the right defensive coordinator. And, he make Jordan Love be the reason why they win, not just have good, stats every year and win 11 games, which is great. I mean, his averaging 11 games a year, but it's just like, can you make it past that first week of the playoffs and show that you are the reason why you're winning, kind of deal.
Right. And he hasn't been able to do that since
No.
Aaron Rodgers has left. So I agree completely with you. And I'm very impressed by your non-homer answer. I have to admit.
I had some time today, and I was like, I'm gonna sit down, get really good information for everybody, and try not to argue with everybody today.
As you can see, it's eating him deep down inside.
It is.
Right now.
He's got that Justin motion where he's moving around a lot just to keep himself calm. All right, let's talk about some hired coaches so far. A lot of them since we've actually done the last podcast. Atlanta Falcons have hired Kevin Stefanski. The Baltimore Ravens have hired Jesse Mentor. The Buffalo Bills have hired Joe Brady. The Cleveland Browns have hired Todd Monken. The Miami Dolphins have hired Jeff Hafley. The New York Giants, obviously, John Harbaugh. The Pittsburgh Steelers have officially hired Mike McCarthy. And the Tennessee Titans have hired Robert Saleh. Eric, what's your favorite hire out of all these so far?
Honestly, I really, really like the Robert Saleh to Tennessee. Like I said earlier, they have a lot of money in cap room. Their defensive line especially are like top 3. They are dogs, and I think Saleh's gonna love having that kind of defensive just pressure that he can get with that front four. And you saw what he did with the 49ers with that half-ass defense. So just imagine with a good defense and then the ability to add more depth to your defense. And he has a young offense that he can develop as well. So I really like that one. And I'm just a fan of Saleh overall anyways. So this should be good to see him. Can I tell you my least favorite real quick, or I'll let you go first.
Yeah, let's go through this first. I agree with you. Robert Saleh, I love this hire. I mean, I'm not completely sold on Cam Ward. I want to say that first and foremost. But he did the right thing by bringing in Brian Daboll. I think that Brian Daboll will do a great job of developing a solid offense. I think that he's a guy that Robert Saleh can just say, here you go, take care of the offense so I don't have to look at it. And it's a guy he can trust, I think, doing that. Saleh already has a decent defense there, like you said. That front four is just crazy good. It's only going to get better. I mean, with the talent he has, I think already in the secondary, he'll do a lot better. That defense will be better than what he put out there in San Francisco this year, which he did an outstanding job considering all the injuries he had. He's one of the best defensive minds, literally, in the game. I think he'll have a hell of a lot more success with the Titans than he did with the Jets. I mean, he's got better ownership and an ownership that really wants to win. And plus, they're building a new stadium, so they're definitely going to want a winning team there. So, yeah, I agree with you completely, Eric. Great hire. I love it. Jake, what do you think?
I was going to make it 3 for 3, but I'm just going to go ahead and say because I was mixed between that and Harbaugh. I think I like that pick right now with that young offense. I think he could do some great things with it, and we'll see what happens with it.
Absolutely. All right, Eric, you wanted to be quick to the jump. I think I already know the answer to this, but I'll let you go ahead and start.
Don't take
your least favorite hire.
My motion here. Okay?
We all know what he's going to say.
Yeah.
My God.
I was going to put that as my favorite just to fuck with you, but I didn't.
Go ahead, Eric. Let's hear it.
So let's go from stable and just like we were talking about, consistency to less stable consistency and mediocrity with a 43-year-old quarterback with Mike McCarthy. I love that pick for them, and it's not going to look good for anybody besides all the AFC teams that have to face the Steelers because Mike McCarthy doesn't know how to win in the playoffs. Yeah, fuck that guy. Okay, that's all I have
All
to say.
right. Well, I knew you were going to say that. And I'm not going to say that you're completely wrong, but I think that's not the worst hire. The worst hire, how do you hire Joe Brady as the Buffalo Bills head coach, who was your offensive coordinator this past season, which had a struggling offense once you removed Josh Allen? And once Josh Allen was hurt, that offense definitely showed that it struggled. And I understand that he's the quarterback and it should, he should be the main piece. But the bottom line is Cooks did lead the league in running, but you still struggled as an offense. You haven't put together any pieces for wide receiver core. Your tight end Kincaid was decent, but he's not a great tight end. You know what I mean? That's my least favorite hire. I mean, how do you hire the guy that gave you a lackluster offense? And I understand they're saying that it wasn't his fault from what I've read, but you still have a voice and you're still the leader of that offense. So that was my least favorite hire was Brady for the Buffalo Bills. Jake, how about you?
I might have to ride with Eric on this one, but under one circumstance, if they decide to keep Rodgers, if he decides to keep Rodgers, I get like they had the chemistry before and whatever. But I mean, if that's his decision, I think he's way off on that one. We kind of seen. Granted, they did make the playoffs. I think he just doesn't have it in him anymore. So I'm gonna have to go with Eric. But yeah, to me, that just was my least favorite.
Gotcha. Eric, what was your thing about Joe Brady and the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, real quick. They still scored 30 plus predominantly with the lackluster offense. They, like you said, he did lead. Cook led the league in rushing. I think they just need to add some more key pieces in the offense with meaning receiver. And, like you said, they have an okay tight end. I don't hate it. I don't know why. I liked Brady, honestly, last year. I would have kind of would like to see what he would have done somewhere else. But I mean, it's interesting to see that's how they decided to go about that, though, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't find anybody else and they just went with the Brady. I don't know.
I have a question for you guys. When it comes to the Cleveland Browns, I think Monken is a good hire for them. I think it's going to match well with Shador Sanders. Actually, when Monken came in today, one of the first things he told Shador was, "We tried to draft your ass," as far as meaning bringing him into Baltimore. Obviously, he's going to have a good report. He said afterwards, "We'll talk about it after we're done with this." But one of the things I want to touch base with is the Browns overlooked somebody that thought he was going to stay there, and that's Jim Schwartz. Did they make a mistake by not hiring Jim Schwartz? I mean, does he deserve a second chance at being a head coach in the NFL? I understand that he was 0-16 in Detroit at one point in time, but I think some of these coaches, I mean, if we look at Ben Johnson's first stint when he was, a head coach in Miami. If you went off that, you would have never hired him in Chicago. Jim Schwartz, to me, is a great defensive mind, and probably he's up there with Robert Saleh when it comes to putting together a defensive plan. I think he probably would have been a good head coach. I'm not a Schwartz fan as a person, but as a coach, I think he does a damn good job. You think the Browns made a mistake and they browned?
I'll be honest, I don't think they made a mistake. I mean, obviously that defense for the Browns is pretty damn good. But that offense needs a lot of help, and to sign a defensive coordinator or as your head coach, to me that I don't know. To me that doesn't say you're working on your offense a whole lot. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. Eric?
Yeah, I know he's upset, and I don't know. I just don't think I don't know. He's gonna go somewhere and be a good defensive coordinator for somebody. He'll find another job. It's just hard for me. Or if I was the Browns fan, I would be like, don't give me. I mean, Monken's. I don't know. I don't know how Monken's gonna do. Honestly, I know he's a decent coordinator, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't love the Browns hire. I mean, nobody wanted the job. It seemed like, because of the instability.
Yeah. Because the Browns brown.
Exactly. So it's just hard for me to give a really good projection when.
Would you have hired Schwartz or Monken?
I have to pick, I guess. Yeah, I would have hired Monken because you want to build on that offense and have a good team. But like, I mean, there's no winning situation there. I mean, I don't.
If Allen were to leave Chicago, would you take Schwartz as a defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I would take. I mean, he was able to develop the Browns defense. That line looked good. I mean, I know they have Myles Garrett, but and he had this. He led this. What broke the record of sacks? But I mean, you saw development with that team, and
Right. No, I
I
just
don't.
think it was an interesting situation. I mean, because from what you read and stuff like that, I mean, Schwartz pretty much thought it was his job, and I think he was shocked when he found out it wasn't. And
Right.
you never should assume. Never should assume. All right, guys, let's talk about teams that have not hired coaches yet. We got both Arizona and Vegas. And Arizona, I think personally, there's two names that are sticking out there to me right now for head coaching positions. And I think one's already locked up, and I'll talk about that when it comes to it. But I think when it comes down to it, Arizona's going to end up hiring Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur's brother. I think that they want Kubiak. Kubiak's not going there. I'll tell you where he's going here at the next team. But I just don't see, like Eric said about the Browns, who wants to come take this job? I think that Arizona job might be worse than the Browns job. So I would say that it's a good spot for Mike LaFleur to probably cut his teeth and to be a head coach, as long as they're going to give him some room to develop and put in a decent offense. And it might be one that they're going to have to draft a quarterback. Eric, what do you see Arizona doing?
I like you said, I think it's Browns and Arizona worst spot. Like you said earlier, I think Clint has a good spot with the Raiders there with the offensive weapons that he has and being able to draft his quarterback. I think he could do a decent job there. But and like I don't know. I don't know who would want to go to Arizona. You have Kyler Murray who can't stay healthy. You have a decent receiver, but overall, I mean, you don't who on that team you're like, man, I really want him on my team besides
Marvin Harrison Jr.
He was all right. Like he wasn't.
Well, if you gave him a good quarterback, he's more than all right. He's more than all right.
He's all right.
He's put up great numbers having a shitty quarterback. I mean, how can you say that?
Just from the hype, I'm saying. Just from the hype, that's all.
Yeah, but his route running and his hands, I mean, I'll tell you right now, I would take Marvin Harrison Jr. over any wide receiver the Bears have right now. Period.
You're crazy.
Yeah, you call me crazy, but it's a fact. His hands are better. He's not dropping balls like Roma Dunze. He's not dropping balls like Burden did. And he's not giving up on routes like DJ did.
That's just blasphemy. I
It's
don't
the
know about
truth.
that. I don't know about that. I don't
It's
know
the
about
truth.
that.
It's the truth. You don't like the Homer truth, but that's the truth, friend. All right. You kind of hit on it already. I think the best fit, obviously, for the Raiders. You said the number one pick. I agree. He's got Brock Bowers, Max Crosby, and I don't know where you came up with your number, but I definitely seen where they're going to have about $75 million, not anything to cap space unless they rework the contract of Max Crosby. But I think with that money and through the draft, you can rebuild the offensive line that obviously is probably its biggest weak spot coming into next season, which is going to really help their number one draft pick. And that'll be a quarterback, obviously, out of Indiana State. So I agree. I think Clint Kubiak ends up there. I think you're going to be surprised. I think Mike LaFleur ends up in Arizona, and he'll be able to get his butt kicked by his mentor twice a year until he gets fired. And we know how the Cardinals situation goes. All right, guys. Hey, they're throwing around right now possible replays on safety penalties. All right. And let me go through some of this. The NFL is discussing using video review to assess penalties for violations related to player safety that are missed by officials, as in grabbing the face mask, unnecessary roughness, roughing the passer, and hip drop tackles. Could be subject to review, according to ESPN. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, if you're going to make it a rule, I mean, there's a lot of games, we can all say that have been, lost or anything just because of missed calls. I think granted, I always say, you shouldn't let the refs dictate if you win or not. But at the same time, too, it's nice to have that little reinsurance in case something bad was missed. Because, I mean, there was quite a few bad calls this year. So I'm getting for it. And for player safety too. I mean, you got to put that in there too.
Eric?
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, just as long as they have a good system and the refs, like Jake said, can't dictate the outcome of games, or it can't be more speculation of rigging, quote unquote. But it just we need to have a game where one game can get the same call, not the same call as another game. We just need to have clear cut rules, and then if it makes the game better, but I don't know how well that will work out if with timing wise, because they always get mad about the games take too long because of reviews and so on and so forth. So I mean, whatever they decide, I hope they get it together. They need to figure that out. We've
I
talked
would-
about how refs need to have full-time positions, kind of thing.
Yeah, this is my problem though. You're taking the human side out of the game. All right. And it's good to ensure player safety. You both said it. I agree. I think it should be challengeable to an extent, but it should be treated more like the accelerated reviews, like they did this season with other play calls. Officials that are monitoring the game and watching it, I think that they should be making that call down to the field to either review it or to say, this was a face mask, or you missed the face mask, or you missed the drop tackle, or whatever the case may be. This will prevent, I think, slowing down, like Eric, you said, you don't want to affect the pace of the game. I think with doing that, my only worry about this is more affecting the groove of a drive. You know what I mean? You get in that rhythm and you start throwing the ball around, running the ball well. Is this going to really do more damage affecting that drive if you're stopping and saying this play is under review for a face mask or for the tackle? That's where I guess you have to weigh it as a team. Do you want that to be a drive stopper for you, that all of a sudden now you're out of rhythm, or you allow the defense to make its substitutions when you've got them tired in that short time? I mean, we know that players used to drop in the field and act hurt, so it would stop the clock, right? Okay, what's to say that they're going to say, hey, listen, go out there and slide your hand against the face mask. Don't grab it, but sliding across so we can get a review. It'll stop the clock, and then we'll be able to make a change on defense or whatever the case may be. It's the NFL. As we talked about Bill Belichick, people try to find ways to win. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's bending what the rule really is. So I agree with both of you guys. I think the player safety's got to be at the forefront of it all, but I also think that it has to be speedy and it has to be not abused.
And see, what I'm curious about too is, back when they had the pass interference, challenge, you can challenge all that. I mean, nothing, I don't think one was overturned, So, I
No.
mean, how much of that are you going to have this year to where, I mean, it's just pretty much a waste of time, too.
Right. No, I agree. Eric, any final thoughts on that change and the possible penalty review?
So one thing I was thinking was that adds to the human element, like you said, Chad, because that way, I mean, it's just like a chess game. You can find ways to, I mean, that's what it is. You manipulate the rules into your favor and you find ways to, get them off that rhythm, like you were saying, which could, like you said, benefit, but but I don't know. I think it could be good for the game as far as for making sure that, people get the calls we deserve.
Right. No, and I agree. And Jake called it right out from the beginning. There was a lot of missed calls. I mean, we've seen it with the Bears. I mean, with face masks, big time. And I think the face masks are the ones that are missed the most, probably this past, probably 2 seasons. We've seen a lot of it. And it's been to the forefront even more. But yeah, I agree. Let's talk about the Pro Bowl, guys. Is the Pro Bowl really the best players going to represent the NFC and the AFC? Let me throw out 3 names to you, and one of them I know Eric's going to be like, oh, absolutely not, he doesn't belong there, and that's Dixon. Obviously, you got Shador Sanders, which I am a fan of, and I've said that before. I think he's a starter in this league. He's not a Pro Bowl player in no shape, form, and not a 41-year-old Joe Flacco. I mean, they're just throwing guys out there. Is the league that bad with quarterbacks in the AFC? Or, I mean, I know Burrow missed a lot of time, but Burrow's still a Pro Bowler over Flacco or Sanders, right?
Hands down. To me, that's just I don't know if it's just a big name type of deal or what. I think I think it's a joke. And there's, way better quarterbacks that should be, in that spot that are not. It's just a joke.
Eric, is Pro Bowl becoming a joke?
Yeah, it's a popularity contest. That's the issue with that. And another thing is, the other quarterbacks, they can refuse, or most of them are injured as well. So I don't know if that has a lot to do with it, but
yeah. But Shador Sanders is your first pick from the AFC to be the alternate.
I wish I had a better list. I should have looked that up. I was going to, but I forgot. But maybe that's just where it landed, and it is what it is. And
so let me ask you this:
he's a name though that brings.
Would you
lots of
take
attention.
Shador Sanders over Aaron Rodgers, even with Aaron Rodgers being 42 years old?
No, but I'm sure he declined it. I mean, I don't know if he would have accepted it to begin with anyways.
He's probably got some ashwagandha or not ashwagandha. What do you call it?
And then go on a date with his imaginary girlfriend. It is what it is.
It's his wife. He's married.
I'm sorry, wife. I'm sorry. AI wife. Whatever they said she is.
The Bears do have 4 that are showing up to the Pro Bowl for him. You got Tooney, Dahlman, Nashawn Wright, and Byard will be there. So we are represented by 4 different players. Obviously, Nashawn Wright being brought up as an alternate for them. So we're well represented there. Hey, Eric, what is your thoughts about Dixon making it? The Green Bay corner that gave DJ Moore the shot in the back and then got roasted.
Right. No, right. It's crazy to me that they just it's just a popularity contest. It is what it is. I mean, he had an okay year, but like you said, he's gotten roasted, but so did what's our boy, Nashawn. So, I mean,
Yeah, but Nashawn wasn't cheap shotting people in the back either.
No. But you see the type of character he had. Once he lost, he didn't want to talk to the media, but once he had that pick, he was all mouth. So, I mean, we'll see him again next year, and we'll show him up again. That's okay.
Make sure he doesn't make the Pro Bowl next year, right?
All right. Somebody's gonna cook him.
You never know with these people that just got it in. He still could.
Right. All right, guys. We got the Super Bowl set now. We got 2 teams that'll be there. We got Seattle and we got New England. Food for thought. We're not going to pick winners this week. We'll pick them next week. But a couple of things I wanted to throw out there, and I know I've said some stuff about it. I know Eric has been vocal about it because of the quarterback himself for one of the teams. But Seattle at the end of the season, guys, I know we talked about the West having the softest strength of schedule to start the season. But when it was all said and done, Seattle had the 4th toughest schedule based upon their 2020 opponents' records. So at the end of the day, Seattle has proven to me like they belong in the Super Bowl. I think they are the best team in the NFC. I mean, I'd love to have said that our Bears were, but that's just not the facts. I mean, Seattle proved that they belonged, and it wasn't because of a soft schedule. Now, let's talk about New England. And Eric has been preaching this, so I want to talk about this. Eric, here's my food for thought on this, all right? New England had the easiest strength of schedule at the end of 2025 based upon their opponent's records, right? You want to know an interesting little note to that, Eric? You ready for this one? 10 of the teams that they faced have either fired their head coach or their offensive coordinator or their defensive coordinator out of those 10 teams. Isn't that crazy? I mean, seriously. I mean, we don't want to talk about outcomes yet. So let's leave what our thoughts are for the outcome. But you've been preaching it. You have been saying it pod after pod. So let me hear it.
I mean, there's not much more I can say now, Chad. I mean, you pretty much said everything. That's great information that I wasn't really aware of. I was just going off what I saw. I mean, it's hard for me to root for a team that every time they played, they got lucky, or I mean,
they didn't get lucky. They won.
But listen, with Denver, right? the starting quarterback breaks his ankle. They face a backup. That's lucky. I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
but I'm talking about regular season.
No, regular season, right? And yes, they won when they they needed to, but it's just it wasn't ever wins where I was like, damn, this team is unstoppable. They just won the games they were supposed to win, and I can't take that away from them. I just never felt confident enough to say this is a Super Bowl caliber team. And
Right.
it just, I don't know.
And Jake, we're talking about strength schedule, and when it came down to it, I mean, I'm kind of flipped script a little bit on you, Eric, and I'm gonna ask Jake this question. But when it comes down to it, the Bears had the third easiest schedule for the season coming after the 2025 at the end of 2025 when it came to their opponents. So does that mean we shouldn't take much into what the Bears did this season then?
I mean, you're playing devil's advocate right there. Being obviously a homer, I want to say yeah, but when you put it like that, I mean, it's tough to say no. I mean, I feel like we should take, eat our own or take our own medicine, and I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm gonna say no on that one, because if you got the third easiest schedule, I mean, technically, if you're going off what you're saying, no. But at the same time, too, I mean, what we've also done this year, I mean, even with the comeback wins, all this other shit, I mean, it's to me that says volume too. So,
right.
yeah.
Eric, how about you?
Like Jake said, I mean, we were a team of just being able to never quit, and no one's gonna ever be able to take that away from us. I mean, meaning the team. 7 comeback wins. I don't know the last time any NFL team has done that, and it just
Actually, the Broncos had 8 this year.
they did.
Yep.
I don't know. Well, good for them.
NFL leading.
I didn't know that.
They
I
made
thought
the
it
history.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. Okay. Well, anyways, good for them. But anyways, not to the caliber that the Bears did. Homer saying that, anyways. But it's hard for me to say that we can't take anything away from this year. I mean, our head coach even just said it. We can't. We're starting from ground zero anyway, so it doesn't matter. We're starting new. So either way, I mean, we take that we have a quarterback at least, and we take that we have a team that can rally behind our head coach. That's what we can take. And, I've talked a lot of shit about the Patriots, but they won the games they needed to win. And, they made it to where we want to make it. So, we'll see what happens next week. And, we'll give our opinions about that game then.
Right. No, and hey, I agree with both you guys. I just think that when we talk about leveling out and figuring out where the Bears actually were in 2025, I think that's a realistic term that, hey, third easiest schedule. But Eric put it best. I mean, you win the games you're supposed to win. And no matter how you win them, whether you win them by a blowout or you win them by a last play throw or, in the last 2 minutes of a game, those are the games that you got to win. And that makes you stronger and better as a team, which is going to lead me to my next point, guys. Let's talk some Bears a little bit. Let's talk about next year's opponents. I'll cover the home opponents real quick, and Eric could shoot down through the away ones because this is a tough schedule, guys, going into 2026 season. You got Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, obviously, is our division rivals. We have Jacksonville, who placed first in the AFC South. We have New England, who is obviously AFC, finished first in the AFC East. We got the Saints. We've got the Jets. We got the Eagles, who I don't care. They're going to be tough next year. That defense is very, very good. It's a Vic Fangio defense. And then we got Tampa Bay. And listen, never count out Baker. We've said that tons of times. But that's a tough home schedule. How's the away schedule looking?
We got our 3 division opponents that we know about. We are at the Buffalo Bills, which is not going to be easy, facing Allen. We got Miami Dolphins, which should be, I don't know where they're going to be next year. So that should be interesting. Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, and then defending NFC champion Seattle Seahawks. Like you said, it's not an easy away schedule at all either. I mean, going to Seattle is the hardest place to play. So, I mean, we talked about strength of schedule. It's going to be hard, but I'm excited to see how we can handle that kind of schedule.
And we played for the right to have this schedule this year, guys. I think the Bears have done a great job. We talked about it. They won the games they're supposed to. Next year, They're going to have to win the games that they're supposed to. I thought it's very interesting and it's going to be very tough. Jake, I mean, what's your total outlook on the full schedule itself?
All I know is I'm getting ready to take some baby aspirin and continue on with this cardiac bear trend. Hopefully, we're not going to, but I could with all the opponents we have. I mean, I have a feeling we're going to still remain in that category of heart attack, but it'll be a fun one next year. I can't wait for it. I mean, like you said, I hope they build off that success we had and leave it as that.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Cunningham is officially with the Atlanta Falcons as the new GM. How do you guys think this is going to affect the Bears? First and foremost, we thought that there would be 2 third-round picks involved in this. There is not. There is no compensation. I want to throw something out real quick before we start talking about this because I think it's kind of an interesting situation. The Minnesota Vikings, I think, might have played a little bit of a game. They fired their GM after it was announced that Ian Cunningham was going to Atlanta. Not to say that the ownership would have hired him, but I think that maybe it was to stop the president from hiring him or something like that. Because had the Minnesota Vikings interviewed him and hired him, we would have had the 2 third-round picks. I mean, we've talked in previous pods, Eric, I know you were part of, we talked about who would replace him. How's this going to affect him? And what do you think is going to happen? I mean, who are they going to bring on?
They're going to do it internally. I know Pauls likes to keep a small group around him. It's probably going to be the head scout, King, I
Jeff
think
King.
is King, yeah, who will probably get promoted, which is good. I mean, it's bound to happen. We saw that. I know we're going to talk about it here in a minute with our offensive coordinator. I mean, good teams lose staff. I mean, look at Kansas City, look at the Rams, there's a lot of people that get taken in. It's part of the game, but I don't know how much it affects us now with a head coach, which he's our head football guy. You saw the draft we had, and I think he had a lot to do with the draft picks we had this year.
Right. Jake, I think at the end of the day, I believe that it's Poles and Ben Johnson's team. I think Ben Johnson ultimately says, I want this guy. I don't want this guy. We need to bring this guy in. I think Ben Johnson is the one that lives or dies by what the Bears have. I mean, I know we talked about, obviously they have to put a successor there for Ian, but I mean, do you agree with the fact that at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who's sitting in that position?
I mean, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter, but at the same time, too, I mean, it is, kind of between them. Seeing what role our polls, has brought in and who's Ben Johnson has brought in. I mean, without a doubt, I don't think that we're making the wrong pick either way. So I could see it being a good thing. Like you said, going internally, so that way we have somebody who's been in chemistry. So either way, it's their call, and we're not going to bring in somebody bad.
I do just want to throw one other name out, too, that I think would be an interesting candidate, by the way, that we haven't talked about, and that's our director of scouting, Trey Cazio. He came from Kansas City with Ryan Poles. So, and he's been with the organization since 2022. So that's always a possibility, too, to step up there because he has been involved in that Kansas City program where they drafted some great players. And obviously, since both, I want to point out, how has that draft class really been for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Not that great.
So, I mean, there's been a loss there having those 2 guys gone from that organization. So just kind of another name to throw out there.
Also, Chad, I wanted to add to the compensation. So it's a league thing from what I read, it's because of the wording of Ian Cunningham going to the Falcons. It's because he's not going to be the head because of Matt Ryan being the president. So just because he's just underneath, like you said, he does not count as that, program, so on and so forth. But I think it's a wording issue and it's bullshit because he's still going to be a major part of the draft and everything. So, they need to fix that. It's bullshit.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you one bit. All right, guys, let's move on to another Bears loss as far as when it comes to the coaching staff. Delvin Doyle is leaving to join Jesse Minner in Baltimore as their OC. It's a position that he's taking that he will actually be the play caller. Thoughts on replacements for Delkin Doyle. I know who I want them to take. I want them to take JT Barrett. I want him to stay in house. He's got a great understanding already, working with Ben Johnson the amount of years he has so far. I mean, besides that, he knows the continuity that he wants to put out there. I think keeping Williams and developing him, obviously, under Barrett will be a positive also. He does well with under his tutelage. That would be the guy I hope that they promote. Eric, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, you're kind of reading my mind there, Chad. You need to stop doing that. Yeah, I mean, that would make sense to me. I would really like anybody like that young person you can develop. They can be with us. That's what I thought with Doyle. I thought he was going to be with us at least 2 to 3 years, but I guess they found out about him or something. I mean, I get it. I mean, you get to have Lamar and Derrick Henry and, develop your own offense, and that's exciting for him. And you also go on to see, we need a running backs coach. So there's a lot of moving pieces that are going to happen by the end of the year that I'm interested to see how we better our team. And you see Ryan Poles is not scared to get somebody that's out of the system and just have a good teacher in our building. And that's exciting.
And Delkin Doyle, this isn't the first position that he was actually interviewing for when it came to being an OC. I do have a question for you. With him backing out of the Philadelphia interview process, does that speak volumes to what's going on in Philadelphia? Or did he know that the Baltimore one was coming his way per his agent?
There's something going on. I think it's one of those things where, as a coach, you probably hear around the league, same thing with, people know what skeletons are in the closet, and, being him, I'm assuming he's like, I don't want to deal with that. I know I'm going to get fired if I don't have a good year next year, or the head coach is going to get fired. So it won't even last that long. You know what I mean? So I think that's what's going on with them. And, Philadelphia is not an easy place to coach. And you saw what they did to that offensive coordinator egging his house. You don't want to have a family if they're going to trespass.
Right. One last thing, Al Harris was rumored to be taking defensive coordinator positions all over the place. He is not. He's actually staying with the Chicago Bears as of right now. It sounds like that's where he's going to stay. I think next year he'll be a D coordinator somewhere. Obviously, he's a great leader. You hear it from all the guys in the secondary, not just that, but what he was able to accomplish with that secondary for turnovers and the confidence in a lot of those guys. And what he did with Nashawn Wright really speaks volumes. I mean, I know Nashawn Wright's out there making those plays, but I thought, considering that the depletion of our secondary this year, and obviously our linebackers, which makes it even tougher on your secondary, he did a great job as a coach. Do you guys see him being a D coordinator next year somewhere?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, like you said, he's got a lot of respect from his players. He's shown what he can do. I mean, the man deserves it.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree. Eric, you think he leaves Chicago next year, unfortunately?
Yeah, everywhere he goes, he has a player that leads the NFL in interceptions. You've seen that with his history. He has a way of developing the secondary. I mean, that says a lot about how he teaches, and it probably will get him a defensive coordinator job somewhere, and hopefully it's just not this year. I need one more year. We need one more year of developing our corners. So,
yeah, absolutely.
But we'll see. I hope not.
All right, guys, that's enough on the Bears. Let's talk about new broadcast of no pay-per-views of the UFC. We had UFC 324 last week. I'll go through real quick the outcome of it, and then let's talk about a couple of those matches, because I think a couple more are kind of interesting. You had Silva over Allen. You had Natalia Silva over Thug Rose. You had Acosta, who beat Derek Lewis. O'Malley over Song Yadong. And you had Justin Gaethje, who beat Patty Pemblett. Guys, I want to start first and foremost with the Silva and Thug Rose. Rose ended up in surgery for her eyes, obviously took some eye pokes, not just one, not just two, but several eye pokes. And by the way, she finished that fight, Tom Aspinall. And to me, a very questionable decision. I thought Thug Rose actually won that fight. Guys, what were your thoughts?
She got robbed.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Eric?
even let alone just you going into surgery for your eye, taking eye pokes and still coming out and you should have won
Yeah.
that fight just speaks volumes.
Yeah, she said she couldn't even see out of her left eye
Yeah.
when she was fighting. She said she was just swinging and connecting. Eric, who did you see winning that fight before they actually made the decision?
I said Silva won. I thought
Did
she
you?
won Rose had a good second round. But I would have went with the split decision. Not a unanimous, but I just I saw Silva take over in the third and Rose kind of shut down. So I think that's what won her the fight off.
Gotcha. Let's talk about Derek Lewis. Did he just turtle and quit?
It-
Did he have money against himself?
He gave up 110%. There was no fight. I was questioning the same thing. If they don't at least try to investigate something, with everything that's came out about that, because he did look like he didn't even want anything to do with fighting.
Yeah. Eric, I'm a Derek Lewis fan, and it actually broke my heart to see him that rough. I mean, what do you think?
No, yeah, I don't know what he was doing. I think he thought he was gonna let him up, but he didn't, and I don't know what he was doing. No offense to Derek, but I think after he saw that he couldn't land his right like he wanted to, he was just like, man, I don't know if I want to stand here with this kid. And like I said, Acosta's a hitter; he can hit, and he's knocked a lot of people out.
But so can Lewis. So I mean, but at the same
I'm
time,
not saying
like
no.
you literally fall to your butt and you don't really cover yourself up. I mean, to me, that just speaks. You don't want to fight anymore. Is what I'm getting out of that. I mean, granted, he's getting up there in age, but I mean,
Yeah.
it was sad to see.
Right. All right, guys. For the co-main, O'Malley against Song Yadong. I had this one really close. I mean, I think it could have went either way, quite honestly. I don't think Sean O'Malley looked 100% dominant. I mean, am I wrong thinking that, Eric?
No, I think he should have done a little better. I mean, they were similar in total strikes, significant strikes. O'Malley had 12 more, but it was good to see that he could stop the takedown. I thought he was going to be more dominant with his being how he was training before.
I wouldn't say he stopped the takedown. He still got taken down.
No, that's what I'm saying. I thought he was going to be
he
more.
stuffed a lot of the
Yeah, he
attempts.
did.
He
Yeah.
was 3 of 7. So I mean, I thought he was just going to look a little better. He frustrated me with a few times where he just got held and he didn't do anything. But I mean, I'm an O'Malley fan, and it's good to see him win again. He just needs to get out of his own head and stop being his worst enemy.
Yeah. Jake, I mean, who'd you have win that fight?
I had O'Malley winning that fight, like you said. It wasn't by much, but I mean, I think he really turned it up and showed we could do it towards the end. But that
third
very
round, he owned it.
That very beginning was, to me, it was rough. Especially once I saw him get taken down. I mean, we put in the group chat, I put, he hasn't learned anything,
Yeah.
But I mean, his defense, like you said, it did show up towards the end, obviously. But I mean, he's still getting taken down 3 times. You figure that'd be something that, you go against somebody who, I'm not saying Yadong or knows what he's doing, but you go against fucking, why am I blanking his name right now? My headache's killing me.
Peter Yan?
No, not Yan.
Yeah.
Even Yan too. I mean, or Marab. I mean, I guarantee it's going to be the same outcome. They're going to expose that unless he can seriously, take that serious.
Right. All right, guys. In the main event, which I love that it was a banger. Not gonna lie. Justin Gaethje beats Paddy Pimblett by decision. Gaethje pretty much whooped his ass up and down the octagon. I think he lost 1 round, in my opinion, and that was it. And I think he kind of coasted that round and took that off. I believe it was the 3rd round. Guys, I have to be honest with this, though. I don't think either one looked spectacular when it came to the boxing game of it all. Because Gaethje, I mean, even the commentators were talking about at the time, every time he kicked, he hard to his right. I mean, if Pimblett comes up with a freaking uppercut off of the connection from from the right leg kick he was throwing, is Gaethje able to survive that after time? Because he wasn't stopping from dipping his head like that. And quite honestly, Paddy at first didn't look like he was prepared to fight with his hands the whole time, and probably shouldn't have fought him standing up the whole time. Jake, I mean, should Paddy the Baddy try to take it to the ground earlier?
was waiting for him to that whole fight. I mean, once you seen him get, he took a nice shot. What was the first round? Put him on his ass.
Yeah.
That to me just tells you don't want to be standing and throwing hands with him. I will say he didn't do too bad. I thought he would, eventually he would have dropped like it's been out, but he stood in there and took it like a champ. I mean, but he definitely should have fought that one on the ground.
Eric, what do you think of his chin after that fight, though?
He's a scout. He can't get knocked out. No, I mean, I loved it. It was like I texted you guys. I'm fucking hard right now. Like that shit got me fucking. I was ready. I was like, let's go. No, Patty should have had a better ground game idea.
Hey.
And he was not ready for that Gagey kind of in your face fight. I thought he was going to be more prepared. Gagey, he's 2 fights away from just being complete CTE. I love his style, but dude needs to. I don't know how much longer he's got is really what I'm trying to say. You can't go those wars. If they fight, either of those guys fight Taporia, they're getting clean because of Taporia's ability to box and be able to control distance like he does. Those guys don't stand a chance. I'm sorry.
Right. No, I don't disagree with you one little bit about that. Guys, Paramount's coverage, I thought overall when it came, I mean, obviously nothing's changed about the commentating. Commentating is always good. John Anik is top of his game, and we know Joe Rogan knows it inside and out. And DC is definitely a champ, not just in the ring, but also commentating, in my opinion. But when it came to the advertisements nonstop, and not just that, but even like during that, like in between the fights, and there wasn't an advertisement, just the clear Paramount Plus thing that was sliding through when they could actually be covering different stuff going on. I mean, am I wrong by feeling that way?
No, I hated that shit. I hate commercials, and I get why they did it. They said why they did it, but it's still annoying. I want to hear what they're saying. I want to know what. I want to be in the mind of the fighter. That's what makes watching fights fun for me, because I get to see how they change it up. Like with Gagey, like you said in the 3rd round, his coach was like, "You need to wake up and get the fuck in there." And what did he do? He woke up in the 4th and hit him with shots. Like that goes a long way. But if you can't see that, then it's hard to. I don't know. It makes it not as fun for me, I guess.
Right.
I will say the one difference for me, I mean, it's 100. I like watching walkouts. Some people have some pretty fucking good walkouts that hype you up, and to not see some walkouts besides what was the first fight and then the main event. I mean, that kind of killed it for me too.
Yeah. And this is the thing. I understand the advertisement portion of it. You want that because they're not charging for pay-per-views, and you got to expect that. I had a problem where they just was just a clear screen with it saying Paramount Plus. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like it was 5-10 seconds. It seemed like 30 seconds to 60 seconds every time they did it. You know what? We know we're watching Paramount Plus. You don't have to tell us we have to pay for it. I mean, I know I did, so we're saying that if you're going to do that, I'd rather you run an advertisement talking about future fights, or like Eric said, just what's going through these fighters' heads and stuff like that. It is part of the game. So if you're going to show me at a minute and a half or 2 minutes of advertisement in between a fight, I'm good with that, or 3 minutes or whatever the case may be. But what I'm not good with is just watching a screen that's floating Paramount Plus on it. I'm not good with that. You know what I mean? I guess that was my problem, and it may be picky, but I was not a fan of it. That's for sure. All right, guys, let's move on to this Saturday predictions for UFC. Eric, you want to go first?
Yeah. So we got 2 Australians versus each other for the first prelim. I'll go with Quillan Sulkid.
You mean not the prelim?
I'm sorry.
Main card.
Main first fight. I'm sorry. Quillan Sulkid. He's 10-1, facing Jamie McCoy. Malarkey, whatever. Sorry, I can't read. I'm just gonna go with the younger guy. They're similar builds. I just think, I don't know. It's hard for me to pick that one. I don't know them very well.
Throw a name out there.
Yeah, right. And then we got.
So what name are you going with?
I said Sulkid.
Okay.
Sulkid. Yeah, sorry, the younger guy.
Yeah,
Sulkid. And then the next was a heavyweight fight. I'm gonna go with Teixeira. I think he's just bigger. He's more agile. I mean, I saw Tavisa get slimmed down and look a little bit more in shape, but I don't think that's gonna
He
be
looked
enough.
rough I thought on the scales. He
Did
looked
he?
really rough. Yeah.
Okay, I thought he looked a little bit
He
more
looked
in
sick to
shape.
me.
Okay. Well, that still goes with. I'll take Teixeira.
Yeah.
Anyways, next one we got Ruffy versus Feziv. This is an interesting fight. Ruffy's with the science guys or whatever, science dogs. Feziv, I've never seen him fight. This is another hard fight for me to pick. I'll go with Fazeev here. I think he has a better wrestling, so I'll go with him. I always go with the wrestler. This is a nice one. Hooker versus Saint Denis. Saint Denis is going to win this, but Hooker's going to make it hard for him. I mean, he can take every shot you give him, and it's going to be great. I'm excited for that fight. My final fight, Volkanovski versus Lopez. I'm going to go with Lopez just because I just love. I mean, I know Volkanovski's a hard guy to fight, and I
We
had him.
know why you're picking Lopez. Come on.
What do
Go
you
ahead.
mean?
Go ahead.
He's a good fighter, okay?
Why? Why,
Anyways,
Eric? Why?
because he's clean with it, all right? He fights good.
Jake, why is he picking him?
I'm gonna say that first. I'm not gonna get into that.
Anyways, he's Brazilian, Chad. You can't say that. Shut up. Anyways, no, Lopez, I know that the first matchup was he kind of got dominated. I think Lopez can adjust and be a better fighter and be in a better position this time around.
Gotcha. Jake, what's your picks?
I'm with Eric on this first one. I'm going with Selkid, or however you say his name. I'm not gonna lie, like I made my picks before I've seen the weigh-ins, obviously, but kind of wanted to change my pick after this one. But I'm gonna go
There's
ahead.
still time.
And I'm gonna go ahead with my gut. I'm gonna take
Tuivasa.
Tuivasa. I cannot pronounce that name. With this one, the next one I'm going Ruffy. So we got that one. Eric, you're gonna be wrong. Next one I'm going Saint Denis, and then I got Lopez winning that one.
Okay. All right. I'm with you guys. I got Soul Kid over Malarkey. He's coming off a KO over Happerass. Happerass did beat Malarkey in the past, so that's why I wanted that pick. I'm taking Teixeira over Tuivasa. Tuivasa looks sick, guys, on the scale. I watched the weigh-ins. Didn't look very good, just in my opinion. I think Teixeira's he's going to bounce back nicely. He got KO'd last time he was out against Derek Lewis, but like we talked not too long ago, you get caught by Derek Lewis, you're going to go out anyway. We've seen good fighters go out. Eric, you've never seen Fazie's fight? Yeah, you have. You just haven't realized it. Listen, I'm taking him over Ruffy, guys. You guys need to jump on and watch Gaethje and Fazie's fight. They've fought twice, all right? Two out of those 3 fights that he's lost have been to Justin Gaethje, guys. The other loss came from Gamrot, who has great hands. These is a banger. He's going to stand in, he's going to brawl, and I think Ruffy's going to be able to handle it. So I took Fazie's over it. Same thing with Hooker. Guys, Eric, you said it perfectly. You know what? Hooker's not going to make it easy. He sits in there and he throws hands, right? And he throws hands like no other. What happened to St. Denis the last time he fought somebody with good hands? Do you remember? Do you remember he was winning that fight?
That was 2 years. Yeah, he got KO'd, Dr. KO, but still KO.
Yeah, he got knocked out. So I think Hooker, I got on my notes, Hooker by TKO. He will beat Saint Denis. Saint Denis might be winning that first round, but after that, it's done. And then for the main event, I got Volkanovski, guys, over Lopez. Listen, until you can beat him, I have to go against you. These two literally are probably my 2 favorite fighters to watch right now when they're in the octagon. I just think Volk is just too much to handle right now. I think if they were to fight maybe the 3rd time, Lopez gets them, but that's only because Volkanovski is aging. I think that, like I said, he's going to win this one. I think when it comes down to it, though, Lopez could beat him probably in the 3rd time. I like both guys. I really do. I think they're great. I love the Lopez's hands coming up and through to get that first championship fight. And I like the way he fights now. I don't want to make it sound like I'm talking negative about him because I really do enjoy him fighting. I just don't think he's got what it takes to beat Volkanovski. All right, let's close this thing up, guys. Jake, what do you got in closing?
Same thing as always. We appreciate you guys listening. If you are, go ahead, spread the word, help us grow and help them grow. I mean, obviously, because they're the main 2 right now. I'm just stepping in while I can. And thank y'all for watching.
Eric, what you got for us closing out this fine Friday evening?
I'm excited. We got another week of UFC fights. It sucks we have less football, but it's that time now, and we appreciate everybody. Like Jake said, hopefully we can continue to keep pushing good stuff out with more information, and let's make some money this weekend. I went 5-2, I believe. 3-2.
No, you did not.
Yes, I
You went
did.
3-2.
I went 3.
Yes.
That's what I said.
So did I.
I said 3-2.
You said 5-2.
I meant to say 3.
Yeah,
Hey,
5-2 would be a little hard to do on a main card there, sir. You need to learn your math.
Shut up. All right. Anyways,
As you guys know, it's not Eric's strong suit when it comes to math.
oh my God, shut up. Anyways, we'll
his
win.
picks, for that
We'll
matter.
win this week. All right. Okay, we'll go 5-0. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Thank you, guys. See ya.
All right. We didn't talk about this during the pod, but I just want to bring it up real quick. Last week, during last week's pod, we talked about the New England-Denver game, and Eric was so hell-bent that Denver was going to beat New England that he bet me an ice bath challenge that he has to sit now for 30 seconds in an ice bath while his son asks questions of him that I'm going to instruct his son to ask him while doing this. Because I think that's more entertaining at that time for him to have to answer these questions in 30 seconds. There'll be trivia questions. All right, Eric? I want to see how your trivia is in 32-degree water. I think it'd be entertaining, don't you?
It's going to be colder than that, I think. I got to see what the weather's like.
All right.
You better quit being a little girl and holding out because of this weather. Just be a man and get the shit over with.
No, it's not even that. I'm getting over having a cold. So
Yeah, all I hear is excuses.
Whatever.
All right. Eric brought up that unfortunately football season is coming to an end as far as what games are. NFL topics will come a little bit less. We do have the draft. We have the combine coming up, and we'll have free agency. But with that, we'll be covering a lot more UFC topics, maybe a little bit of baseball, and some RFA. Anybody that's real American freestyle fans, we'll definitely be talking about the up-and-coming matches that they may have and past ones that they've had. It's exciting. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you guys check it out. It's great. It's fun to watch. It's great wrestling. And we appreciate you listening and watching. Like I said from the beginning, please, if you like what you're seeing or hearing, like and subscribe to the channel and the video. Leave comments what you think. Positive, negative. You only hurt Eric's feelings, so it's okay. Be kind to each other. We're out. Peace.